And so as someone who's had a lot of positions like that, what advice maybe do you have for young leaders, whether they're in this field or in other fields?
I would say probably number one for me is remember it's not about you, it's really about us. Um, yes, you can lead a team, but in terms of how you support that team, how you interact with that team, it's really us that makes things happen. It's not a singular activity. I think it's also important to provide staff with need to do their job and the support that they need to do their job, but also at the same time, you need to hold them accountable. Um, a big thing for me is recognizing staff members. And don't get me wrong, I don't do one every week, but when somebody really has gone above and beyond, or they've worked on something and run into unforeseen things that they handled really well, um, I just send. I'm not a big email person. Sending an email. Yeah, sending an email. Number one, that's really quick to do. Writing a note takes more effort, and I think the more effort translates to the person receiving it as um, more valuable to them. Uh, do a lot of listening and less talking. Um, I would also say really hone your interpersonal skills. They're vital regardless of where you end up in your career. Um, Another big one for me is don't shy away from a, and delay addressing issues, whether with an outside vendor or with your staff. Nip it in the bud. Delaying it doesn't help anything. And the farther removed you get from the issue, the the more difficult it becomes to address it because people think since you didn't say anything that it wasn't an issue and now it's coming up as an issue. As I say to people, when you do an annual evaluation, there should be no surprises. People should not be surprised from an annual situation. And take risks, but certainly calculated risks. When you're trying new things, um, it's risky, because you don't know that it's going to actually turn out the way you anticipate. And support people in that regard. That when it doesn't turn out, it's not a it's not a bad thing. It's more of okay, what can we learn from this that didn't turn out? Um, and I guess finally for me is making decisions based on what's best for your organization, which may or may not be best for your career. I've seen too many leaders that are that's that's their parameters. How will this help me rather than what's best for the organization. So I think really to be a good leader, you need to be doing what's best for your organization. And if it's also best for you, great. If it's not, that shouldn't really be a factor.